On a day when winter was transitioning to spring, the creatures below the ground were impatiently waiting to come out. The flowers, like shy children, had not yet shown their colors, but they were heralding the arrival of spring. The children who had just finished school were also starting to feel the warmth of the sun. They were dying to play in the park. Getting their parents' permission, they rushed towards the park. Jasmine was also very excited to play with her friends. She asked her mother, and of course her mother also gave her permission to enjoy the sun and have fun with her friends. She was already very close to the park, and her mother could see her through the window. Or Jasmine could come immediately if she needed something. Jasmine first changed her clothes. She wore comfortable and casual clothes to play in the park. She had something to snack on. She ate the fruits on her plate and drank a glass of milk. Then, after looking out the window and seeing her friends arrive, she told her mother. Her mother was preparing the fruitcake and pastries she had made in case they wanted to take a break from playing. Jasmine took the basket and went to her friends. She left the basket on the bench and started playing. While they were playing, some children they saw at school but didn't know them started to disturb their games, harassing Jasmine and her friends, and forcing them to leave the place they were playing. Jasmine and her friends didn't understand what was happening at first, but then they started to get scared. Jasmine said,
"Let's go home right away."
Because her house was close, they decided to play at home. Jasmine wanted to take the basket she had put aside, but the children threw a ball at her from afar and knocked over the basket. Everything inside spilled onto the ground. Jasmine was even more scared. They picked up the basket and went home as fast as possible. They quickly went inside. They were scared, but Jasmine didn't want to tell her mother anything. She thought we should not make a big deal about it. She also didn't want her mother to think she was a coward. They started playing and pretended to have forgotten what happened. After her friends left, Jasmine went to her room. She finished her homework. She carefully prepared the project she had been working on for a month and put it next to her bag. The next day, hurrying to school not to be late, Jasmine saw the same children again. She decided to ignore them and pass them quickly. She couldn't change her way because they were near her classroom. As she passed, one of the children tripped Jasmine. Jasmine fell to the ground with her project in her hand. The children laughed and walked away. As they walked away, they kept looking at Jasmine and laughing. Jasmine, looking around in bewilderment, began to cry. With the help of the people around her, she went to class, but her project was ruined. Thinking that the teacher would think she made excuses if she told him what had happened when the teacher collected the projects, she said,
"Sir, my project has stayed at home."
It just came out of her mouth. From that minute on, Jasmine couldn't listen to the lesson, hear the teacher's words, or leave the class. She was angry at herself for not being able to react.
"I shouldn't have been silent yesterday,"
she thought, blaming herself. On her way home, she was always worried. What if they follow me? She quickly got home. All she wanted was to be home. Her mother said,
"Welcome home, Jasmine. How was your day? Did you share your project with your friends?"
At that moment, Jasmine started crying. Her mother didn't understand what was going on. She immediately went to her and hugged her and asked,
"Do you want to tell me what happened?"
Jasmine cried and told her what had happened. Her mother listened to everything that had happened. She suggested that Jasmine rest for a while and then talk to the family together to find a solution. Jasmine told her father what had happened. Her father said,
"First of all, thank you for sharing your difficulties with us, Jasmine. I want you to know that we definitely don't think you're a coward. I see that you're angry with yourself and blaming yourself. I understand. Please don't blame yourself. It's normal to not be able to make the right decision when you're in a state of shock. But no matter what, no one should physically or psychologically harm each other."
Her mother also asked,
"What do you suggest we can do to make you feel better and find a solution to this situation? How can we support you?
After hearing what her parents had to say, Jasmine felt much more relieved. She had thought they would call her a coward and blame her for not defending herself. But that wasn't the case.
Since this situation has not only happened in the park, but also at school, it would be best to inform the teacher and school management. I think the students who were involved in the bullying will also be interviewed with their families, and those who need help in this regard will be assisted. This is not a situation that should be hidden or ignored.
The next day, Jasmine's parents reported the situation to the related people. Jasmine also talked to her teacher and explained everything from start to finish. The teachers informed their students in their classes and read the same text in their classes.
Bullying is not just physical. It can also be verbal, emotional, or cyber. School should be a safe environment for everyone. It is not necessary to be aggressive and attack the bully or to remain passive and silent. If a student is having a problem that they cannot handle, they should talk to their parents or a teacher. Not only the student who is being bullied needs help, but the bullies also need help to learn how to deal with anger and power. In recent years, in order to draw attention to this issue and the increase in such cases, in 2019, UNESCO member states declared that the first Thursday of November as the International Day Against Violence and Bullying in Schools, including cyberbullying.
After all the information and individual meetings, the students who had harmed Jasmine realized their mistakes and apologized to Jasmine with shame and regret. Jasmine learned to stand up for herself and ask for help when she encounters a situation she doesn't want. Other children also realized that their behavior, even if they were not aware of it, was bullying, that they should not do things they didn't want others to do, and that there were other ways to express themselves. From that day on, Jasmine and her friends started spending time together and getting to know each other better.
The Wise Owl's Stories.